this next section, we're going to be talking about independent studies and how you can design and present to BGU your proposal for an independent study. First, we're going to look at the independent study packet. The independent study packet can be downloaded from our website. If you went into the BGU website, clicked on Current Student and Student Resources, went to Forms and Documents, this is what comes up. And right here is the independent study packet. And that is this document right here. This document is composed of several different pages. The first page is the contract that needs to be signed by your independent study advisor. You're going to insert the information that's required. You're going to insert your name, the independent study title. So you can name it whatever you would like. Whatever this name is, that is what is going to appear on your transcript. So pick carefully how you want that to appear on your transcript. The number of credits, you can choose the number of credits from 1 to 8. So you and your independent study advisor would work together to decide how that fits into your program based on the requirements that you need to fulfill, and fill that in. Here's where you're going to put the name of your independent study advisor. Then you're going to put their address here. You're going to put the phone number and the email address here. And then right here you need to type up why you feel that this course is necessary. Generally, the reason that you're doing an independent study is because BGU doesn't offer the course. Or you may say, well, BGU offers the course, but they only offer it during this one time when I can't take it. Something like that. So this gives you kind of the rules about your independent study, when it's due, how the professor is supposed to turn in a grade summary and all that. This is the terms of the agreement. We pay our independent study advisors $100 per credit hour. So in other words, if you took this class, an independent study, for 4 credits, your independent study advisor would make $400. The proposal, this independent study proposal, needs to be submitted to the registrar's office, which is then placed on the Academic Affairs Committee's agenda and then voted on. The Academic Affairs Committee meets approximately every 6 weeks. The independent study advisor needs to sign it here and date it. I will obtain the academic dean's signature here. The next couple of pages are what we call our course syllabus template. So what you're going to do, again, insert your name. You don't need to worry about a number. We'll put that number in for you. Again, repeat your title here and the number of credits and your advisor's name. Okay? Then, project due date is 90 days from the date that the Academic Affairs Committee approves your proposal. Now, if you want a specific date, go ahead and put the specific dates that you want to have the 90 days begin and end. Submit it to me at bgu.edu. And the procedure. So the first thing you're going to do is describe the procedure you'll undertake to complete this study. For example, some students say, I'm going to be working with my independent study supervisor over a 1-week period, and then I'll be working on my own for the rest of the time. Something like that to describe what you'll be doing. The next section, the course description, this is something that will also appear in, there's a document that prints out with your transcript that gives a brief description of the course. So this would be maybe 4 or 5 lines, not a real long description, but just something short that would describe what this course is about. The desired outcomes. Now this is on successful completion of this course. What does your independent study supervisor want to see you learn? What are going to be the objectives? And it's good if you have this in a list of about 4 or 5 very specific items. And this is important because not only are you going to evaluate your professor on this, but he or she is going to evaluate whether your final project reveals that you have learned these desired outcomes. So your professor needs to be very specific, and then you need to make sure that when you're writing your final project that you are demonstrating that you have gained this knowledge. The next section talks about book reports, the journal, and the final project. Now, a lot of times people struggle with this, but there's really a good tool for you in the student handbook. And in the handbook, you will see, this is on page 5, I believe, or 6, okay? Page 6 of the student handbook. This is a typical outline for a BGU course in the business degree for 3 credits. The minimum reading is 1,000 pages. We anticipate that that would take 40 hours. The standard time for calculation for reading is 1 hour for every 25 pages read. The book reports, 1 hour for a polished page. Here we have 5 pages of book reports equals 5 hours. Seat time, or that means either in class or online, 1 hour for 1 hour, so it's straight across. If you spend 25 hours in class, we equate that to 25 hours that you've spent. If there was no journal, no hours. Project, we equate 1 hour for an actual hour spent writing. We anticipate that for this course, they're anticipating 23 hours. Let's look at the Theology class. Here's a typical theology class where 100 or 1,200 pages are to be read as a minimum for this 3-credit theology class for 48 hours of work. That's your time invested in this class. 1 hour for each polished book reports, that would be 9 hours. For seat time, again, 1 hour for 1 hour. So I don't know why this is 30 and 24, because this should be actually 24 hours equals 24 hours, 5 hours there, 5 hours there. We anticipate that it would take an hour to do 2 pages of a journal. So if the journal is supposed to be 6 pages, that equates to 3 hours. And again, 1 hour for a polished page of a project equals 15 hours for 15 pages. So let's say that you were a master's student. You wanted to do a 3-credit class, independent study, and you see by this that you are to calculate approximately 110 hours of time for a 3-credit class. Therefore, you're doing your independent study and you're not going to have any seat time, correct? So you would subtract this approximately 30 hours from this total, and it would need to be made up, that other 30 hours would need to be made up somewhere else here by adding more books to read, by adding a larger project. You could possibly, your professor may say, well, this is an independent study on church planting. Part of your time will be spent going to a brand new church that was just planted and interviewing the pastor. Well, that would count as hours toward your independent study, but you would be sure to include that in this section. In other words, add a chapter in here or something that says chapter interview pastor of a new church plant, something like that. Okay, so this needs to be designed, this whole section needs to be designed based on that hours document, this document, and it goes through 6-credit masters, international courses, 4-credit masters, and to a 4-credit DMin class, 8-credit DMin class. So use that document to help you to calculate what you should be doing here. The grading, this is up to you and the professor. If you want to have your reading count more than the journal, you could say, well, I want my reading grade to be 30% and the journal grade to be 20%. You could do that. You can do whatever you would like here. This is very negotiable. Now, in your reading bibliography, this is where you would list the books that you're going to include in your required reading. Now, it's very important when you're listing these books to list all the information that would help our Academic Affairs Committee to identify whether or not this is going to be a significant range of information for your independent study, and whether they think that another book could be added or a couple of books could be added. Our Academic Affairs Committee is very knowledgeable with a wide range of experience, and they often have helped our students to identify books that are actually very, very helpful for writing their projects. So that's what you do to make your syllabus that would be presented to me to be presented to the Academic Affairs Committee. Again, your format is the same paper template that you use for all of your projects. Then next is a W-9 form. This is what your independent study advisor needs to fill out unless they're already on file with BGU. Some of our independent study advisors have done independent studies a lot, and we've already got this on file. The next document is the grade summary with outcomes. This is what your professor is going to use to grade you. So again, fill in your name, the class, the number of units, the date of your class, and your professor's name. And then you are going to be graded on all of these items in addition to the outcomes that you listed earlier in the syllabus. If you'll recall, I asked you to number 4 or 5 outcomes here, and your professor, when he or she reads your paper, is going to determine whether you satisfactorily understood those outcomes. Then your professor will give a final reading grade, journal grade, project grade, and self-evaluation if those are included in that syllabus. And then the registrar's office will take those grades and calculate them according to the percentages that were put on your syllabus. Your professor can sign this and turn that in with your for your final grade. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to give me a call or email me at Judy Melton, or JUDIM @bgu.edu. Thank you.